Have you ever been there? You're in a heated argument. You know you're right, your points are solid, and then it happens. Your body just betrays you. Today, we are going to decode that super strange, incredibly frustrating, and, let's be honest, painfully relatable phenomenon of angry crying.
Right? This is the thought screaming inside your head. This isn't about being sad or weak. It's about being absolutely furious. But the second those tears start, it feels like the whole dynamic shifts. The other person doesn't see your point anymore. They just see your reaction.
It's such a physical feeling, isn't it? That loss of control at the worst possible moment. It can feel so humiliating, almost like your own body has just switched sides right in the middle of a battle you were trying to win.
Okay, let's get right into it. Why does this happen? And what if I told you that crying when you're angry isn't a weakness at all? What if it's actually a sign that your emotional system is just so intense it's simply overloaded?
So, the first and probably most important thing we need to do here is completely reframe this whole experience. This isn't about being weak, it's about being overwhelmed. Seriously, it's not a character flaw, it's more like emotional physics.
Think about it this way. Tears don't only come from sadness. They come from overload. Anger is a high-voltage emotion. Your body is literally preparing for a fight. And when your system has nowhere else to put all that intense energy, it finds an exit. And that exit is usually your eyes.
This soda bottle analogy is just perfect. When you're in a conflict, it's like someone is just aggressively shaking that bottle. Your heart starts racing. You get that shot of adrenaline. But, you're supposed to be polite, be mature, so you try to hold it all in. Well, that pressure has to go somewhere. And if it doesn't come out as shouting, it's going to come out as tears.
Now, what's really fascinating is what's going on beneath the surface. So let's take a look at the psychology and the biology behind why this emotional overflow is happening in the first place.
One of the biggest reasons is that anger, it's rarely the actual root emotion. A lot of times, anger is just a bodyguard, It's protecting something way more vulnerable underneath. You cry when you feel disrespected, when you feel powerless, when you feel like you're just not being heard. Your brain isn't just reacting to the argument, it's reacting to the feeling of rejection that comes with it.
And hey, if you've ever been called too sensitive, listen up. It is not an insult. It just means you process things more deeply. You're the person who notices the subtle shift in someone's tone, the tiny facial expressions, the small moments of disrespect that other people might just miss entirely. That's what triggers a bigger response in you.
This brings us to coping styles, because people are different. You've got your externalizers, they release stress outward. Then you have internalizers, who release it inward. Now, society often praises the externalizer as strong while looking down on the internalizer as weak. But maybe we should redefine strength. Maybe it's not about the absence of emotion, but the choice not to be destructive when you're overwhelmed by it.
Let's get into a little brain science for a second. During a conflict, your amygdala, think of it as your brain's alarm system. It just goes into overdrive. It senses a threat, and when it does, it basically hijacks your prefrontal cortex, which is the logical, rational part of your brain. So your brain isn't in debate mode, it's in full-on survival mode.
Okay, so understanding why this happens is really powerful, but actually taking back control, that's freedom. So now let's shift from the why to the how. We're going to go over some really practical, real-world tools you can start using to manage that emotional overflow right in the moment. This is your emotional toolkit. And while all of these are great, we're going to focus on just a few of the most powerful ones you can use immediately. These are little tricks to send a signal to your nervous system that you are safe and you are in control. First up, breathe. But breathe like you're actually trying to slow down time itself. The second you feel those tears coming, your breathing gets all shallow, right? Which just makes the panic worse. So we have to reverse that. Start by inhaling slowly for 4 seconds. Okay, next you're going to hold that breath for another 4 seconds. This little pause right here, it's absolutely crucial for breaking that panic cycle. And now, the most important part. Exhale slowly for a full 8 seconds. A nice, long exhale. This is a direct signal to your brain that you are not in danger. Just doing this twice can make a world of difference.
Another amazing tool is what I call the pause sentence. And this thing, it is magic. Saying this calmly makes you look mature and thoughtful, not weak. It buys you a moment to use your other tools, like breathing, without looking like you're flustered. It tells the other person you're still in the driver's seat.
Now, the biggest tool of all isn't even a technique. It's a mindset shift. You have to stop fighting your tears. The more you think, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, the more your brain panics. Instead, just adopt this mantra, this acceptance. Actually reduces the fear, and when the fear goes down, the tears often do too.
All right, let's bring this all together by completely redefining this entire experience. It is time to stop seeing your emotional response as some kind of liability and start seeing it for what it really is. Ultimately, if you're someone who cries when you get angry, it's just a sign that you have a really deep and powerful emotional system. That intensity is not a flaw. It's the very same thing that makes you capable of deep love, incredible loyalty, and true empathy. The goal isn't to get rid of it, it's to master it.
I really want you to let this sink in. The world has taught us that tears mean you've lost, that you're weak. But that is simply not true. Your tears do not invalidate your point. They don't invalidate your strength. And they certainly don't invalidate your dignity.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. What if this response isn't a sign that you're fragile or broken, but actually a sign that even when you've been pushed to your absolute emotional limit, you still refuse to become cruel? Maybe that's the most powerful kind of strength there is.